Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, in this video lecture, today we are going to revise the topic of first week, which is presentation of data.
At the end of this session, at the end of this video lecture, the students should be able to define the data, to know about the different types of data, and to know about the different ways to represent the data significantly, scientifically, and systematically. Now, what is a data? Any observation, collect, and respect of any characteristic or event is called a data. For each characteristics, for some characteristics or for some event, sometime we have a data, and in the original form the data actually called raw data are called primary data. Now from that data we need some informations. So for the informations, for the observations we collect in respect of any characteristics or event, and in this case the data called uh, the the situation called that it is a data. Now information, raw data carry convey little meaning when it is considered alone. So the original raw data meaningless and has a little meaning sometime, but we convert the raw data, the primary data, into another form, and the another form will be called the secondary data. The data is minimized, processed, analyzed, and then presented systematically so that it is converted into information, and in this case the data will be called the secondary data. It is important to note that data that, that is not converted into information is of little value for evaluation and for planning and cannot be used by those who are involved in the decision making. So, dear students, data informations is very important for a teacher. Teacher has results of courses, and if he not reorder the data, he cannot get the informations from their data easily. Now, types of data. To give a holistic picture of classification, data can be divided into two types. One type is called quantitative data, numerical data, and the other is called qualitative data, which is called the descriptive categorical frequency count. So there are two types of the data, quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data. The data that can be expressed in numbers, figures is called quantitative data. Quantitative data has its two types. The one type is called discrete. Discrete variable can take only certain values and none in between. For example, number of patients in a hospital, cancer, may be 178 or 179, but it cannot be in between these two. Similarly, the number of children in a family, it is expressed in whole number. Discrete data can be expressed in a whole number. The discrete variable can take only certain values and none in between. So similarly, the continuous data. Continuous variable may take any value, typically between certain limits. For example, age 25.5 years, weight 70.5 kg, height 1.5 meter. So the continuous variable can be expressed in decimal, but the discrete variable can be expressed in a whole number. Discrete variable will be expressed in whole number, not will be expressed in decimal So, and the continuous form, continuous variable can be expressed in decimal form. Now, the qualitative data, also called the descriptive data of frequency count. When the data are arranged and categorized on the basis of their quality and there is gap between two values, it is called qualitative data. For example, name, religion, status, awareness, etc. So qualitative mean quality of the data. When data are arranged in categories on the basis of their quality, then the data will be called a qualitative data. Qualitative data cannot be expressed in numerical form. Now, types of qualitative data. Since there are two types of quantitative data, similarly, there are also two types of qualitative data. Nominal data. Nominal scale data are divided into categories that are only distinguished by their name and labels and cannot be classified one above another. For example, race, name of countries, name of crops, types of blood. In these types of data, there is no implications of order or ratio. Nominal data that falls into two groups are called dichotomous data, for example, male, female, black and white, rural and urban. Ordinal data, when the categorical data can be placed in meaningful order on the basis of their quality, it is known as ordinal data. In this, the exact difference between the two groups cannot be estimated. For example, scoring of students categorized as A 70% and above, B 60 to 69%, C 50 to 59%. In this, the exact difference between the students placed in grade A and grade B cannot be estimated. So these are the two types of qualitative data. So there are two types of data, quantitative data and qualitative data. For the quantitative data has two types, discrete and continuous. Similarly, qualitative data also has two types, nominal and ordinal data. Now, interval for the data. Interval scale data are like ordinal data in that can be placed in a meaningful order. The categories are arranged in equally spaced unit and there is no absolute 0 point. For example, temperatures, where 0 degree centigrade does not mean no temperature, but it is equal to 32 degree Fahrenheit or 273 Kelvin scale. In addition, they have meaningful intervals between items which are usually measured quantities. For example, on the Celsius scale, the difference between 100 degree centigrade and 90 degree centigrade is the same as the difference between 50 degree centigrade and 40 degree centigrade. However, because interval scales do not have an absolute 0, ratio of scores are not meaningful. For example, 100 degree centigrade is not twice as hot as 50 degree centigrade because 0 degree centigrade does not indicate a complete absence of heat. Now, ratio. A ratio scale has the same properties as an interval scale. However, because it has an absolute 0, meaningful ratio do exist. For example, weight in gram or pounds, time in seconds or days are all zero scale data. Now, data presentations. So, dear students, we have sometimes we have a simple data, but without management, without presentations, the data quantity to pick the quantity, the quality of the data will be difficult without presentations and without management of the data. So for the presentation of data, there are some principles. First principle, to arrange the data in such a way that it should be created and trusted in the reader's mind at the first sight. To present the informations in a compact and conscious form without losing important details. To present the data in a simple form so as to draw the conclusions directly by viewing at the data. To present it in such a way that it can help in further statistical informations or statistical analysis. So, dear students, these are the four principles of presentation of data. For the presentation of data, first of all, arrange the data in some order like descending order or ascending order. The purpose for the order is that it should create interest in the reader's mind. And secondly, present the information in a compact or concise form without losing important details. Present the informations of the data without any losing about important details. And present the data in a simple form. And the fourth principle, to present the data in such a way that it can help in further statistical analysis. So these points are very important for the presentations of a data. Now for the presentation of data, we have two methods. One method is the tabular form. Sometimes we present the data in tabular form, and sometimes we can present the data in graphically form. For the tabular form, we can use two tables, simple table and complex table. Simple, when we use a simple table, when there are single data, and for the complex data used for data in which there are multiple variables. And for the graphical presentations for quantitative data and for qualitative data. For quantity data, use the graphs like histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, line chart, normal distribution curve, cumulative distribution curve, and scatter diagram. And for the qualitative data, use bar chart, pictogram, pie charts, map, diagram. So, dear students, for any statistical data, like when a teacher have some results of the courses, then the question is that how to present the results of the students. The teacher can represent the result of a student of students in tabular form or in graphical form. And you see over here in this video lectures the different presentations, the presentations of data in different form like tabular form and graphical form. First of all, I would like to tell you the tabulations, the tabular form for the presentations of a data, for the management of a data. Tables are the devices that are used to present the data in a simple form. It is probably the first step before the data is used for analysis or interpretation. What is mean interpretation? Interpretation means to convert data from one scale to another scale. But the question is that why we convert data from one scale to another scale? This question is very important. In the raw form, the data is meaningless. For example, if a student say that I have got 56 marks. So 56 marks is a good score or poor score. We cannot say that this score is a good score or poor score until we convert the score from one scale to another scale, or if we compare the score of the students to the score of the other students, then we can say that the score is a good score or poor students score. But for the individual score, we convert the score to another scale like percentage, scale, GPA or CGPA. Then this is called interpretation. Now the general principle of designing a tables. How to design a table for the presentations of a data. For the presentation of a data, to design a table, first of all, the table should be numbered. For example, table number 1, table number 2, and table number 3. And a title must be given to each table, which should be brief and self-explanatory. For example, we construct a table for the presentation of a data, and we want to present the results of a students in course mathematics. So the title of the table will be the results of mathematics course. Now the heading of the columns or row should be clear and conscious. For example, in a table we have two columns. In the first column, write the serial number of the students, and in the second column write the score of each students for the course mathematics. Now the fourth principle of the table, the data must be presented according to the size or importance. According to the size or according to the size mean, write the data in descending order or in ascending order. So write the data, put the data according to the size or importance, chronologically, alphabetically, and geographically. If percentages or average are to be compared, they should be placed as close as possible. No table should be too large. Most of the people find a vertical arrangement better than a horizontal one because it is easier to scan the data from top to bottom than from left to right. Footnotes may be given where necessary, providing explanatory notes or additional informations. So these are the some important principles for designing a table for the presentation of a data. Now types of table. Simple table. Simple table, measurement of single set are presented. Complex table, measurements of multiple sets are presented. Now you see over here, this is an example for the simple table. When characteristics with values are presented in the form of a table, it is known as a simple table. For example, table 4.4. This is an example. Table and the number of table is 4.4. Now this is the heading of the table. Number of selected students from the countries in 2004. So dear students, I have already told you in the previous slides that in the principle of designing a table, the table should be number. So this is the number, table 4.4. And the second principle, a title must be given to the table. This is the title of the table, number of selected students from countries in 2004 for some quality. And now the heading of the column or rows should be clear. These are the heading of the column number 1 and column number 2. Number of countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India. And these are the number of students, 90, 60, 26, and 60. So this is the principle. The heading of the column or row should be clear. The data must be according to the size. Or importance. So dear students, in this slide you see over here, the data is according to the importance, the data is according to the quantities. Now frequency distribution table. In the frequency distribution table, the data is first split up into convenient groups, class interval, and the number of items frequency which occurs in each group is shown in adjacent columns. Hence, it is a table showing the frequency with which the values are distributed in different groups or classes with some defined characteristics. Rules for construction of frequency table. The class interval should not be too large or too small. Number 2. The number of classes to be formed more than 8 and less than 15. The class interval should be equal and uniform throughout the classification. After construction of table, proper and clear heading should be given to it. The base or source of data should be mentioned with the pattern of analysis and footnote at the end of table. So, dear students, here note that frequency distribution table. But what is the frequency? Sometime in a data, some number is repeated. Number of repetition of a number in a data is called frequency of that number. So this is called the frequency distribution. For example, you see over here in this previous slide, suppose here 60 and 60 are repeated. So easily we can write in the one column, 60. You see over here, this is 60, and at front of 60 we can write its frequency 2. 60 to 2. In the first column we write the item 60. You see over here, suppose students, for example, this is x represents 60, and now the frequency for this frequency mean f, we represent the frequency by f. So this is actually called the frequency distribution. Frequency mean number of repetitions of a number in a data is called its frequency. So for the frequency distribution table, you see over here, this is the example of frequency distribution table. Now, rules for construction of frequency table. How to construct the frequency table? In the frequency table, sometime we write the number individually with the frequency, and sometime we convert the data into group form. So if we convert the data into group form, rules for the construction of frequency table. If we want to convert the data into group form, these are the some rules for the group. The class interval should not be too large or too small. In the number of classes to be formed more than 8 and less than 15. So dear students, this is actually called thumb rule. Thumb rule mean the number of classes will not greater than 20 and not less than 5. You see over here, this is thumb. We have 5 fingers in one hand, 5 fingers in the second hand, and 10 fingers in the legs. So thumb rule mean 20 fingers. Number of classes not greater than 20 and not less than 5. In class interval, and similarly class interval for each class will not less than 5. But sometimes some people use the procedure that the class interval should not be too large or too small, and they take the class interval like 5, 6, 3, 2. And the number of classes to be formed more than 8 and not less than 15. The class interval should be equal and uniform throughout the classification. When we convert the data into the group form, the class interval should be equal and uniform. After construction of table, proper and clear heading should be given to the table. The base of source of data should be mentioned within the pattern of analysis and footnote at the end of the table. So, dear students, one point is very important. When we construct the classes, the groups for a data, we first of all we arrange the data in descending or in ascending order, and in the start number and in the end number we are independent. Suppose we start our group's first class from 5, and we have not the 5 number in the data, so we are independent to start from 5. And suppose we have not the 100 number in the data, so we can close our groups at the number 100. So in the start and at the end number we are independent. but it is very important to the class interval should be equal and uniform throughout the classification. Now, frequency distribution is an organized tabulation showing exactly how many individuals are located in each category on the scale of measurement. This is actually called frequency distribution. A frequency distribution presents an organized picture of the entire set of scores, and it shows where each individual is located relative to other and in the distribution. Frequency distribution table consists of at least two columns, one listing categories on the scale of the measurement X and another of frequency F. You see over here in the previous slide, this is two column presentation. One column represent the individuals and the other column represent its frequency. So frequency frequency distribution table consists of at least two columns, one listing categories on the scale of measurement X and another for frequency F. In the column in the X column, values are listed from the highest to lowest without skipping any. For the frequency column, tallies are determined for each value, how often each X value occurs in the data set. These tallies are the frequencies for each X value. The sum of the frequency should equal capital N. So dear students, in the next video lecture, I will tell you about the frequency distribution, group distribution, frequencies and tally with some examples. Now here, this is a simple introduction for frequency distribution table. Now, what is the regular frequency distribution? When a frequency distribution table lists all of the individual categories X values, it is called a regular frequency distribution. Group frequency distribution. Sometimes, however, a set of scores covers a wide range of values. In these situations, a list of all X values should be quite long, too long to be a simple presentation of the data. To remedy this situation, a group frequency distribution table is used. Now, group frequency distribution table continued here in this slide. In a group table, the X column listed group of scores called class interval rather than individual values. These intervals all have the same weight, usually a simple number such as 2, 5, 10, and so on. Each interval begins with a value that is a multiple of the interval width. The interval width is selected so that the table will have approximately 10 intervals. Now, frequency distribution table you see over here. For example, this is the number of the table number 3, and this is the heading of the table, age distribution of polio patients. Age 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, and 20 to 24. So at the first stage in the raw data, we cannot have the group form. The raw data may be started from 0 and stop at 24. The minimum number, the smallest number is 0 and the largest number is 24. So this is not necessary to start the data from the smallest date value which appear in the data. Suppose in the data we have no 0, we have 1. So we can start the data from 0. And if in the data we cannot have the largest number 24, suppose we have the largest number 23, so we can close our data at this 24. So at the start and at the end we are independent. For the uniform interval, we can use for the start any number and we can use for the end any number. So 0 to 4, 1 class for the data, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, and 20 to 24. So there are the class interval for each class is 4. In the number of classes, is 0. Sorry, number of classes is 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. So in this example, the number of classes is 5. So this is actually called thumb rule. Now the number of patients in the first group, in the first class 0 to 4, there are 35 patients. 35 patients mean that from 0 to 4, there is a number which represent age. So for example, age 2 years. 2 year age 2 year age persons are the number of patients 35. So 35 mean that in this group we have the number 0 1 2 3 and 4. So it's mean 1 is repeated 35 times, 2 is repeated 35 times, or maybe 4 is repeated 35 times, or maybe 1 repeated 31 times and 2 repeated 4 times. So 31 plus 4 will be equal to 35. Similarly, from 5 to 9, maybe 5 repeated 18 times, maybe 6 repeated 18 times, maybe 7 repeated 18 times, or maybe 7 repeated 9 times and 8 repeated 9 times. So 9 plus 9 will be equal to 18. So these are actually called the frequencies. Now, how to present a data by graphs? You see over here in the previous slide that we have some methods for the representations of data: tabular form, and the other is a graphical form. So for the graphical form, we can use a table, we can use some graphs, and for the tabular form